So today we have special guest Dave Fenley, and I can't wait till you hear all about him. This is going to be so inspiring. So, hello, Dave. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good, good. Weather is warming up a little bit here in Texas. Are you where are you at right now?
Currently, I'm in Nashville. Moved here, I guess, about 8 or 9 years ago. 9 years ago in March. Uh, from Texas, lived in San Antonio for 15 years. But yeah, just a Texas boy that decided to come out to Nashville and see if I could hack it. And I'm just getting older, yeah, but I love what I do. So, and it's things like this that keep me going.
Well, tell us what you do. Tell us.
Well, man, I just write songs and sing songs and travel the country and play shows. And now I raise a baby. I'm a new dad, so I write a bunch of love songs and fun songs and try to keep everything honest. That's the best thing I can. Good Christian father and try to raise a little family.
Oh, I love it. So it's just so incredible. We were going to be doing our interview back in January, and then Annie came a little bit sooner than expected. And oh my God, she's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, she was supposed to be a late January baby, and she showed up on New Year's Eve, like 12:31. So, yeah, we have a New Year's Eve baby. I guess a what do they call it? You get a tax write-off baby. So she
Yeah.
showed up right just in. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I've never been a dad before, so learning how to be a father is crazy. My wife, she has a bunch of young nieces, so she's been good at changing diapers and knowing the how they grow and what to watch for and how to handle it. She's a pro, and me, I'm just scared. I'm like, I don't want to break anything, so I don't know what to do with my hands very often.
Are you getting good at changing diapers?
I don't know if my wife can hear this or not. I'll just say no. I, I'm okay at changing I'm good at changing the wet ones. The dirty ones, I still look over my shoulder until I find my wife, and I'm like, get in here, tap out. So
That's
yeah,
adorable. I love it.
it's not. I'm not squeamish about it. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to wipe things the wrong way, and I don't know. It just seems it's a whole thing.
Gotcha.
Girls have some. Little girls have more parts than little boys.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations. That's so awesome. So, well, how long have you been
Thanks.
singing, and what inspired your or ignited your passion for it?
Um, I've been singing since I was little. My mom actually has like old recordings of me when I was like two, singing harmonies with her. My friend, a gospel quartet. Growing up, music was in the house, so like I kind of always had music around. I was always singing in the house. Uh, so I guess from a very young age, it was always around. I didn't start writing songs till about 15. I guess when you start going through emotional times and you don't know what to do about it, you start writing things down, and that's about the time I started hiding, uh, like my love for music from my parents because I didn't want them to like push me, or I didn't want them to like just phone, like fake support me. I guess that's just a fear of mine. I like hide things until I know that I'm ready to show them to anyone. And that's kind of still the same way. When I'm in my house trying to write songs, I like to have nobody else in the house so I can make sure that when I'm writing, no one hears it until it's good or until I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me.
Gotcha. Oh, you're so incredible. I saw you perform last year at a subdivision here in San Antonio. I mean, it's a huge music event that they have, and you were fantastic and so inspiring. And I don't know if you remember, but you offered to share the stage. You invited me up uh, to sing, and I was like, well, thank you very much, but I'm really enjoying you. You were so
You
kind.
should have done it.
Next time, hey, this year I'll be playing in San Antonio a lot. So if you're in the area, you let me know. I want you coming and playing with me.
Done deal. I would love that. And you have some really pretty guitars behind you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I've seen you make those guitars sound beautiful. I noticed, so I had started kind of doing the research questions for you back in December, and you released a song. It's been a couple years ago. Grandpa, Tell Me About the Good Old Days by the Judds. And I wanted to ask you, well, first off, I noticed when I looked at it again today, so like 3 months ago, you had 15 million views, and there's more like than 8,000 positive comments about it. It's incredible. But then when I looked at it this morning, you had 17 million views in like 3 or 4 months. That's just crazy. So tell us what your
Yeah,
inspiration was behind doing this song, releasing it.
I've always just loved the song and I thought it was a powerful message. I had no idea, like when I recorded it, we weren't in the pandemic yet. We weren't in the throes of COVID yet. It was pretty much like right at the end of 2019 when I recorded the song, and right around the corner is when everything started happening. And I put it out just because I love the song and I love the message. And all of a sudden, people started losing their grandparents and looking for some sort of solace or some sort of song to use or some sort of piece or answers. And it just seemed like that song to people. And so the reason there's so many positive comments is because I opened up. The first comment you read is like, "Hey, this is a safe place. Talk about what you're going through. Everybody can engage here." So yeah, there's over 8,000 comments that I've responded to every single one if I can, about people telling their story about their grandparents that may have lost or someone in their family. And it's become kind of a community of people to go in and talk. I mean, I had a woman the other day who in the morning and I was in bed and I heard my phone go off and I don't always respond, but I looked at it and it was a woman asking if I could just listen to her talk about her grandparents and offer advice. And I'm always careful to say that I did not graduate with a degree in psychology. I don't have any advice that's something I don't want to be. I'm not clinically able to give any advice. I will listen to anyone, and so it ended up being a back and forth where it seemed like she really got what she needed from a conversation over the internet with a stranger, which I love that more than anything. That it's created a great place for people to just kind of reflect on loved ones and share great stories because those people from that generation, man, they had a lot figured out that I think, hopefully that when my baby is, you know, looking back on these years and I'm an old man, hopefully I'll have a little more wisdom to impart, just like my parents and grandparents have done.
Oh, I love it. It's so beautiful, and it's so inspiring. You taking time for this lady and really helping her get through something that she needed someone else to just listen. It was so inspiring and gives me goosebumps. Like even just watching your video, there's so much emotion in your vocals. I think with every song you do, you recently did Amazing Grace, and it was just there's I don't know, how do you get that? Where does it come from? Do you think it's because you started so young doing this? It's beautiful.
I think the easiest way to describe that is just I pick songs that resonate in me. If I was singing something and I didn't believe it either, so I choose to do songs that if there's songs I didn't write, like songs that I wrote, like I had a song come out today. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I could sing it with the same conviction that you'll hear for anything else. But when I sing someone else's song, then I have to do something that truly moves me or something that I truly feel like I'm a part of. Otherwise, it'll just seem like a guy singing karaoke. So I'm really particular and careful about what I choose to put out there to the world because I feel like there are certain songs that if they move me as much as they do, then they have a chance of moving other people too. And like things with Amazing Grace and Grandpa and Stuck on You, it seems like they've really resonated with a lot of people out there, which that's what music's all about.
17 million people. Oh my God, that's just amazing. So I have
How I think my mom's probably 3 million of those. So
well, that's awesome. I love having a supportive family. That's amazing. Um,
exactly.
so I did see that, well, I knew because it was, whenever you have someone from your hometown, because you played a lot here in San Antonio and you actually performed with friends that I know. I never met you at that time, but you performed with a lot of, people that I know. We've crossed the same paths. And
Sure.
so you got a whole town rooting for you because you made it to the semifinals of America's Got Talent and on to Blake Shelton's team on The Voice. So what was all of that like?
Uh, the America's Got Talent thing was I wasn't ever planning on doing a TV show, and they reached out and they asked me to be on the show, and I was kind of reticent to do it, but I just got picked up by Miranda Lambert to go on tour with her, and I was like, well, this might be a good chance. Like, if people see me on the road and they see me on TV, it might really have a chance to launch my career. So I went ahead and did the America's Got Talent thing, and it was a really interesting and pretty fun experience. Although the way that particular show was run back, it was very much try to get the sad story out of you, or try to get you to talk about stuff that I don't know. For me, I never wanted to be the one who was like me because I'm this or whatever. I'm just not built that way. So the show and I didn't really get along all that well. Uh, and so later on, and flash forward 5 years, and The Voice reaches out and asks me to be a part of it. I was like, this is my opportunity to kind of fix the way I was perceived on TV and do songs that sound more like me. And so I went on the show, and by the grace of God, I got picked up to go on Team Blake, and then I made it all the way to the top 10, and that was just that. That really gave me a lot of TV time, and by then I was a much more seasoned musician, songwriter, and I had a better idea of how to follow up the TV show with YouTube and try to make videos that people wanted to see, which is why things like Grandpa and Help Me Hold On and Stuck on You started really turning the corner for me on YouTube and making me kind of a YouTube presence, which has been the greatest gift of all because I feel like I can play anywhere in the world now and people will come out, which is crazy to me, but I love it.
Oh, that's so incredible. I want to say a little quote. I have to read this though. So when you performed Amazed by Lone Star, Kelly Clarkson said, your tone is like a blanket of goodness wrapped up by a fire. I love your tone. It's so cool. It's my favorite thing about you. And then Blake said to you, every time you get on stage or just even in rehearsals, your voice absolutely floors me. How did that make you feel?
I mean, those are well, obviously wonderful. To get any sort of respect or compliment from your peers or people who are further along professionally. I mean, any sort of validation is wonderful to have. It's not something I ever needed to move forward because I don't have any other backup plan. That's what I'm doing. But any time that someone takes the time out of their day to give you a compliment, uh, it's I have a grateful heart for things like that. I wasn't always good at taking compliments, and I'm still not great, but I do appreciate it. So I get real kind of shy about it, and I'm like, oh, stop, 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 you know.
Stop. Go ahead. Stop. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so you just said that you shared the stage with Miranda Lambert, but I also saw Dwight Yoakam and Dirk Bentley, and he's one of my favorites. Of course, Miranda, all of them are. But what was it like touring? And really, what is it like touring in general?
I loved it. I mean, I can't wait to do it again. But it's going to look a little different with my wife and daughter now. But they're going to just go everywhere I go. But touring life is not for everyone, but certainly is a blast. Like you get to see a whole different side of the country itself, and demographic of people. Because I mean, I don't have that many people coming out to my shows, but when I go play with Miranda, and I'm around 15,000 people, and I get to play in front of them, and I get to feed off that kind of energy, it's so intoxicating. And all Dirks and Dwight, everybody's been such a wonderful, gracious fan community in general is just full of supporting people. I've become friends with lots of what you famous friends, I guess you'd say, uh, and the, the overall arc is that everyone is just so loving and supportive of one another. They all laugh about who's got the number one this week, bro, brother and sister family in country music, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I hope that I can just make my mark someday and be up there in that conversation. But for right now, I'm just happy being the guy that writes songs and plays music that my wife and mom and dad are proud of.
Well, you are making a mark. You don't see that, but you are making a mark. You're making a mark when you step on that stage and by putting your music out. And tell me the name of the new song that you just released.
Yeah, a song came out today called "I Can't Dance." And that was written. My mom, I was at a Dwight Yoakam. No, sorry, I was at a Vince Gill show, just having a drink with my mom, and we were watching Vince, and uh, he was taking intermission, and my mom leaned over. She goes, "I got a song idea for you," and I was like, "Oh, great," because my mom's notorious for giving me like really bad song ideas. First one she ever said was, "All right, Dave, here's a song title." I was like, "What is it?" She goes, "Granny's got her thong on. Something's gone wrong." And I was like, "No, I can't write." Anytime she gives me song titles, I'm like, "Oh, here we go." But she said that back when she was a young girl in high school, there was a guy that would use this pickup line on girls, and it worked. And I was like, "What was it?" She would say, "Oh, he would say, I can't dance, but I can hold on to you while you do it." And I was like, that's fun. I mean, that's a really lighthearted, fun pickup line. And I think if I was a girl, I would fall for that. So I sat down the next day and I started working on this song called "I Can't Dance, But I Can Hold On." And a friend of mine, Kyle Sturrock, came over and we wrote it. And it's become a lot of people's favorite songs. And it's just a fun pickup line that really makes you want to boogie.
I heard you play it. I remember the story. You had everybody laughing. It's so funny. You also shared, you have a slogan, you have a saying. Would you share it with our listeners? It's SLLPV.
Yeah, spread love like peanut butter. Uh,
I love it.
that is just something that I've been saying. I've been saying that about 10 years, 50, I don't know, long time now. Uh, it, I wasn't always the happiest guy. He came up to me when I got off stage one time. He's like, "Man, you need to stop being so like distant from people. You need to really like engage." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And he's like, you need to spread love." Like, I was like, "I like peanut butter." So the next day I woke up and I was like, "I'm gonna just take this guy's advice. I'm just gonna be good. I'm gonna say I'm going to engage people in conversation. I'm going to ask them how their day was. I'm going to care more about other people than I do about myself for one day. One day, spread love like peanut butter." And by the end of the day, I was so like filled with love, and it just changed the whole course of my life. And so I woke up every day since just wanting to kind of be that guy that would just spread love like peanut butter today, love somebody today, show someone you care, and engage instead of pull back, and all that. It's made all the difference.
It does. Just being grateful when you wake up in the morning, just picking one thing that you're grateful for every day. It just,
Yeah.
it attracts good vibes, makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
So, what does your typical day look like now? Now with Annie.
Uh, it's different. No, but used to be wake up, coffee, go to the songwrite session, write a song from 11 till 3, and then come home and do make dinner, and then watch a couple of Netflix shows and go to bed and do it again. And now it's wake up, for like this much, and then wake up for a very long time and sleep for this much, and then wake up for a very long time and sleep. Uh, Try to feed a baby, burp a baby, spit up, clean baby, feed, and it's just anybody who's a new parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you aren't a new parent yet, get ready, because whatever they say about life changes, they're correct. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. The one thing I've noticed that having a baby has done is it's really opened my eyes to truly how much we have a Lord and Savior. Like 100%, I would do anything for this baby. I would do anything to make its life better, protect it, lay my life. It makes me understand Jesus so much better. And just like Jesus, and just like this little baby, she doesn't have to do a single thing for me to love her. Don't have to do a single thing for God to love us. So I think just having her has just opened my eyes to exactly how good God's love is.
Amen. Oh, it gave me goosebumps. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Your wife is so blessed to have you. So,
I'm the blessed one.
well, so I have a question. Do you ever have any doubts about what you're doing, like imposter syndrome, or you're like, what am I doing here? Do you ever feel that way?
You know, every now, I mean, I'd be lying if it didn't creep in sometimes. Like when I put a video out and it doesn't do as well as I think it should, or I get really excited about some song and it underperforms. There's always that creeping thing that's like, you're too old or you're too fat or whatever. Uh, Inevitably, that you can't help but those pop into your head and try to tear you apart. But I do have so much support with my wife and my family and friends and musicians help me. And when I don't feel strong, they help me feel strong. So I wouldn't say, of course, I have those that come up because any artist is super sensitive and super sensitive to rejection and disappointment. But I don't live there long. I've got so many great people around me that won't let me, and too many people counting on me for me to quit.
That's beautiful. So, what do you find the most challenging in this career path?
I think just navigating this new normal of technology. I mean, I'm kind of a old dog, and there's so many new ways to reach people. I've only known, prior to this new life, I mean, this new world, I just knew to write songs, make a CD, sell it, sell the music, and sell your album at shows. And now people aren't buying CDs. Cars don't have CD players. So now it's learning how to navigate that. And of course, there's the things that go along with the argument about Spotify and Apple Music, and do they pay enough to the songs? And that becomes a real concern when you're a person like myself who lives only on music. I don't have anything else, so I'm not a crybaby. I'm just a person who figures it out. It's not the easiest life. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that didn't just love it and need it. But I do love it and I do need it, so I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Uh, so I guess to answer your question, I get that's about as good as I can answer it.
So, are there any artists that have influenced you?
Every artist. I mean, I I remember growing up listening to country music on my mom and dad's record players, Oak Ridge Boys and Alabama and things like that. But then I would also find a Lionel Richie record, or I'd see Solomon Burke or Ronnie Millsap. He was real, country, but he also had some blues in him. So all those kind of things. And then I learned about like Boys to Men showed up when I was 15, and I was like, that's it. Like that's the people singing the way I want to sing. So uh, it was just one of those. I've kind of been a product of every genre that I've ever kind of listened to, and tried to be very genre free in my writing. The song "I Can't Dance" today that came out today is just straight up honky tonk fun. Garth Brooks, ain't going down till the sun comes up, kind of fast feel. And then 2 months from now, I'll have a like a Mexican kind of song for Cinco de Mayo. I've got planned coming out called Tijuana Dream, and I love any kind of music there is. I love it.
So with the inspiration, so where do you find the inspiration? What's your process in writing?
Normally, I try to write from experience, but you can only write so many songs about what you've lived. So then you start trying to pull from other people's life. So I'll room with a couple of friends, a couple times, 3 times a week, and we'll just chat about what we know, what we love, what we're going through, and uh, what we have anybody who we know is going through something, and we just try to figure out what we want to write about. Sometimes we're feeling like writing about Jesus. Sometimes we want to write about a sad song. Sometimes we want to write a love. We just kind of figure out the mood of the day. Sometimes it's the weather. That depends, like kind of what we're gonna write, and just let something inspire where you feel completely attached and honest. And then usually when you're that connected to the world and the earth and the ether and the music and everything kind of comes organically. It sounds very crystals and woo to say, but there really is a beauty that I think flows at a certain level that we all just get to pick from when we're trying to be creative.
I love it. So, what do you want listeners to know about you and your path? And if they want to do the same thing, what would you recommend?
Learn about make your weakness your strength. Like for me, like I'm really not great at social media. I'm not someone who tries to be or good at being relevant. I don't think people care what I'm eating and what I'm doing every minute of the day. Super helpful for me to just force myself into places. Okay, I need to just say hi. I need to just do this. I need to take it live video. All those little things that aren't my most comfortable moments that I don't want to do, as soon as I do them, they are so much more rewarding. And so I think always be able to grow and adapt and try to learn. Like as a young musician, that's the best thing I could recommend is just always try to do everything uh, and always be open to new stuff that's coming around because inevitably that's the audience. The audience is going to find you wherever they are. They're not going to find you where you are. So you have to go out and put yourself where they are.
Gotcha. And then, so where can we find you? On YouTube, your website? Tell us, and I can actually put those in the show notes, but please tell us.
Yeah, I mean, DaveFinley.com for one, and then Dave Finley uh, or at Dave Finley. So Instagram is at Dave Finley, Twitter's at Dave Finley, and it's Fenley, not Fi. I don't know why. I'm the guy who spells it wrong. It's a terrible thing, but it's what I'm hung with. But yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, followers, like followers and people like that are our currency nowadays. Like if you follow me on Spotify, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on YouTube, all that will eventually do something for my career to benefit me. If 100 million people all did that, then I would be at the next level. So but you can't get to a million without one. So if anybody out there wants to, please follow me on everything, because if you don't, no one will, right? So uh, that means more to us right now than anything else, is just having people that are willing to listen. Because I can promise I'm going to keep putting out music. So
Is there anything else you'd like to offer? This has been so amazing, and I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this, and super excited to
I
share.
appreciate you, Bonnie. Hey, this is 30 minutes that I'm not listening to a crying baby. So thank you. I'm sure she's going to be crying any second now. Today we get to do we get to do a special spa day for Annie. So I'm excited for that. But all I will say, I'll just end with what matters to me the most is spread love like peanut butter and be good to everyone. And anytime you get a chance to take the time to make someone feel good, do it.
Amen.